Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Checking in on the sectors, so we did see bulls show up a bit today. CGC stood out the most out of the major Canadian MJ names for their strength. I would say ACB stood out the most for its weakness, or I should say its lack of strength. So CGC is now seeing a move off of its new support, 1961. We got a little short-term break over the top of the bounce, which just tells us this bounce is not done yet. Breaking 2091 was a good sign for bulls. Closed stronger today than we closed yesterday. And that was in the face of the S&P 500 dumping at the end of the day. So that was also notable. Next resistance level that we're going to be looking at from here, pretty much 21 psychological. We can see a little bit of weakness after hours with the market. And 21, 18, and 22 will be the levels that we're looking at. Again, we are looking for a weekly lower high to form. This is just a weekly oversold bounce at this point. Could it still be a weekly bear flag? Yes. If we see a red day tomorrow and a red day on Thursday, then that shows us a little change in trend. Again, it's not entirely convincing. That was hardly a pivot point, but it would show us a lack of follow-through. So I need to see the bulls with follow-through, and we would be looking for a weekly lower high, perhaps in the $24 range. If the bulls do get some solid follow-through, we'll be watching the weekly exponential resistance as a potential guide. But hourly time frame, anything above the low of today will be an hourly high or low. So bulls have some momentum in their favor. We'll see what they can do with it. So like I said, ACB stood out weaker, and clearly a little tiny daily inside bar and a close near the low of the day. What I did today with my ACB and APHA positions from yesterday is as soon as we saw the first half hour of trading with no names breaking their highs of yesterday, the break for CGC occurred in the afternoon, I trimmed down positions, and that just kept me protected because, as I said, the bulls have to see follow through. We have to break the high of yesterday today, and it didn't happen. So I exited partial positions. I still have partial positions in both, but I will be exiting ACB if we see a bear break under 351. Then 340 test will be coming, and bulls have to break the inside bar bullish, 366, 374, two short-term resistance levels. APHA, daily inside bar, but a lot stronger than ACB. So I'm still in some APHA as well. We need a break of 489 and 490 tomorrow. If we get them, we'll say our daily high or low is set, and we'll be watching to see if we're going to form a lower high compared to 554, which I would anticipate because that resistance is still about 15% away from where we currently stand. So pretty much APHA, ACB, all these major Canadian MJ names need follow through like CGC got to set our daily higher lows. So Cron inside bar with a weak close as well. It's on par with ACB for its short-term weakness. Bulls have to break 860, 855 and 864 to try and get some follow-through after a daily higher low was set. TLRY got a bull break over 2273, but hardly got any follow-through and closed weak. So our daily higher low is set at 2103. This is one of those scenarios now where we have a little daily trend change, technically speaking, with a higher low and a higher high and no follow-through. A rejection from exponential resistance, a weekly bear flag, absolutely still in play. So again, we're still skeptical of this space. We're seeing some little signs. The fact that CGC closed strong in the face of SPY weakness, the fact that it is not done bouncing yet, but we are skeptical of the space as a whole because we need the sector to act in unison as a unit and bullish. And if we don't have that, individual names, that's great, but it's not enough. We want to see the whole sentiment shift in the space, and this is not happening yet. VFF got bounce follow through. The 4-hour falling wedge at this point has seen very nice follow through. Short-term resistance is 781. Hourly consolidation into the end of the day. We're looking for an hourly higher low, pretty much anything above the low of today. 773, 781 key resistances. Keeping in mind that here as well, we're just looking for a weekly lower high to be set on this bounce attempt. VGW is doing nothing. Tiny daily inside bar, no volume, not even worth mentioning. Nothing has changed from yesterday. Hexo, daily inside bar, similar to ACB and Cron. Have to break that bullish over 270 tomorrow in order to see our daily higher low set at 246. Otherwise, we don't have a daily high or low. OGI, still very healthy consolidation, still a daily bull flag. It too formed an inside bar. 362 has to break tomorrow. If it does, our daily high or low is 339, and then we'll be looking up at 380, the recent top. So far, only CGC out of all these names has given us a convincing daily high or low. I guess you could say TLRY did as well, but very unimpressive follow through. So we have to see all these inside bars break bullish tomorrow, and if they don't, it's a failure for the sector bulls. On to the USMJ names. Double top right at the start of the day for IAN and all profit taking from that point. Higher low every day the last 6 days. If we break 215 support tomorrow, daily consolidation to find a higher low will be underway, and we'll be watching to see what consolidation looks like because we're going to get a lot of information from that. Going to be looking for Bruce to announce which CEO he is or which MSO he is going to be joining sometime in the next few days, potentially this week. If not this week, certainly looking for it next week, and that could provide a bump to one of these names to be keeping an eye on. Cura still weak. Again, no daily trend change, lower highs and lower lows, and here we are heading right back down to 685, the low of 2019. Well, nope, the low of this consolidation in 2019 is on the table for being tested again. The bears are still holding strong. High of the weekly bounce, lower low, lower high, lower low, no follow through. We're not changing any daily trends. We're not changing the weekly trends. Curaleaf bears are still strong. CWeb, also still extremely weak. Daily exponential resistance, rejecting the price every day for 2 weeks, essentially. And we're looking back down at 1560 as support, as the low of consolidation in 2019. TRUL, healthy consolidation, no high bear volume, little bit of lower wicks. We need an hourly trend change for the daily higher low to be established. Anything under 1332 is an hourly lower high. Once we get that hourly trend change, daily higher low is set, and we're looking back up at 1375 short-term resistance. It's a very different picture for TRUL than it is for Curaleaf and CWeb, both in daily downtrends versus a daily uptrend. Big difference. CL, daily higher low trying to form. Inside bar here has to break bullish for our daily higher low to be 772. Not interested in CL, but I am interested in OH because OH is seeing a big pullback. We don't have any information as to the deal going through or not, which is why we're seeing this drop and we're seeing some discount added back. Bulls were hoping to hear about this deal potentially going through by now. So we're looking for a higher low compared to 492. That's still 15% away. And hourly RSI is on the verge of oversold. I would like to see some red first thing tomorrow. I will then look to make an entry on hourly oversold conditions, looking for a daily higher low to form. So OH is on watch for tomorrow for me. GTII still in an equilibrium. Bulls must hold 1134 and change the hourly trend for a daily higher low to be set. We'll then look for a daily lower high compared to 1280 and more of a sideways range, more of an equilibrium than anybody that we just looked at. So Canadian MJ names. CGC did well. Everybody else has to as well. Even if I'm only in CGC, which I'm not, but if I were, I would be a bit skeptical, even with that strong close, because nobody else is following. We want sector confidence as well as individual confidence. So have to see inside bar bull breaks on all those Canadian MJ names tomorrow. If we don't, bulls fail. We have to see USMJ get its act together and change some daily trends. Only TRUL has at this point. Even IAN, which just bounced 50%, needs a daily trend change. OH, need a daily trend change with CL. Curaleaf, no daily trend change. CWeb, no daily trend change. So that remains the most important factor in the short term. If we can't change daily trends, we're not going to put a stop to this bleeding, and we will drop to lower lows. Obviously, if we're not going to drop to lower lows and if we're going to hold support, we must change daily trends. Remain skeptical of the bulls out there. Stay protective. Ensure stop losses are set. And we'll see what kind of follow through we can get tomorrow if any of these inside bars do break bullish. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good rest of your night, and we'll see you tomorrow. So it doesn't take long for the mycelium network to take hold, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. And you can't really see the scope of this, but there are mushrooms all over this, which is a good thing. So this is where we're going to plant strawberries and a bunch of other stuff. But this mycelium network, number one, it breaks down the wood chips and turns it into soil. but they also act as little highways. So imagine just tons of tiny little roots all interconnected in one organism through the soil, and they actually can transport nutrients. They do studies where one tree can pass nutrients that the next tree is lacking through the mycelium network into its roots. Pretty insane stuff that science is only really just now starting to uncover, but it's always a good thing to see mushrooms around. It's garlic planting day. I'm going to plant some German red, which are the smaller ones on the left, and then elephant garlic on the right. And when I placed my order for the garlic, I forgot that the elephant weight would mean it's way less cloves, but we'll see what we got. We're just going to do the second half of this bed here, which is already onions getting good to go. Still got to thin those out as they go, but I just put them in some salad as they are being thinned. And you can see someone was digging around a bit in here last night, it looks like. Fortunately, didn't damage any of the onions, but I do have someone coming to give me an estimate on a fence and trying to get that fence up. The sooner the better. So they're gonna go in the other half of this bed here. Just gotta take up the cardboard and get any weeds out of there. This is straw that will go on top to keep them warm through the winter. And again, these onions and the garlic will both be harvested next summer. And we'll see how it goes.